Hello, my name is Mercury, and welcome to this brand new episode of Media Buffet. Today, I'm alone, and I'll be discussing the first season of your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, which is the first production, I guess, that we are reviewing in from 2025. A lot of the shows and movies we've been reviewing from now have like for the year have been from previous years, and now we are officially. This is the first one we're getting. I know we've been doing new episodes. We've been doing episodes on newer topics, but um, they've been on like video game presentations and trailers, and sure there was the Monster Hunter beta, which yeah, but that's not really a review. It's more like what I played. I guess it is a review, but I didn't give it a rating, and it's much more like a representation of what what it could actually bring. But that's besides the point. This is the first time we were reviewing something from 2025, and also the beta was from like it was open beta test 2 specifically. But the beta started in 2024, so it wasn't even new. But anyways, yeah, this is an episode that's very late. I will say this episode was supposed to come out what, like 20 years ago. God, I'm fucking pathetic. All right, hopefully not a lot of them bleed into April, but I think some of them will. I'll try to get 3 out today, which leaves 6 to do. That's fine. I think I can live with that going into April. But that's a lot of stuff in April. But hopefully we get back on track in April, and then we start actually releasing episodes when they're supposed to release, which is Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays at 3 p.m. Now it's EST. It's usually AST because I don't live in EST. But now we are in. I think we are in daylight savings, or we got out of daylight savings. I'm not sure which one it is. But now we are aligned to VST. So currently, it's 3 p.m. EST. I'll just keep saying that just to make it easier on myself. Just say, hey, it's 3 p.m. EST. So yeah, episodes every Tuesday, Thursdays and Saturdays at 3 p.m. EST. That's when we're supposed to be releasing them. Hopefully, we get them out. We get back on track with that soon. But yeah. Let's move on to what we're gonna be talking about. So yeah, your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man is the first 2025 topic that we are covering from this year. And the first thing we are reviewing. It is also the first MCU property or like Marvel Studios property of 2025. And I know, we skipped one. We went like MCU, we went from Agatha straight to this. I have not watched What If Season 3. It is this black stain. It's coming out soon. Hopefully within the next few days, but I'm not good at keeping my fucking word, to be real here. In the next few days, hopefully, eventually, I get to review What If Season 3. I'm not excited, but I am going to review it. So, yeah, I've not heard good things about it. I've not heard anything. I've not seen any clips from any of the trailers or like episodes or whatever. I have not seen anything from this show aside from the ending. That is the only thing I have seen from What Is Season 3. It's the ending. And like I think some bit of the first episode. That's it. I'm going into this pretty much. I'm going into that pretty much completely blind, and I don't usually do that, but we'll see. I didn't like season two. I thought it was pretty bad. Let's see where I put it on tier list. I'm pretty sure. That was we had tier list back by then. Yeah, I put it in D tier. It wasn't good. I didn't like the ending. We'll see if season three is worse or like on par or even better. I put the first season at C tier, and that's only because some of the things I did, like some of the things I did like, some of the things I didn't like about what if season one. I mean, season one is the best currently, but we'll see if season three ups that or it doesn't. I don't know. I've never been the biggest fan of how Marvel handled What If. Never liked that it was like that it wasn't a complete anthology. Instead, this was just kind of handled as a. This was handled more as like a normal series. It felt like multiple ideas were conflicting here, and I don't know if they'll be like it's any good. I know that What Is Season 3 tried to fix some of the problems that Kang's departure made after Jonathan Majors was fired, where they had I think it's called the Outsiders. I think that's what they're called. Let me just check. What tab do I not care about? This. What was I gonna look up? God, I'm so fucking. It's 8 a.m. people. This is my brain on 8 a.m. recording. I forget what I'm gonna Google. Yeah. Okay. Oh yeah, I was gonna talk. Fucking hell, I'm so stupid. No. MCU. Is it called the Outsiders? Writers. Let's see. Nope. Outsiders. I'm not sure what the team is called. Never mind, I can't find it. Storm What If. Here we go. Okay. Guardians of the Multiverse. Okay, whatever. That's fine. Yeah, Birdie, Tori, Storm. That's it. Oh, that's fun. Okay, whatever. The hell's this? What the hell is going on? Whatever, I don't care. I'm just looking at the wiki for What Is Season 3, and that's so weird. What the hell? Okay. Whatever, they're not even called the Outsiders, they're called the Guardians of the Multiverse still. I never. Whatever. Yeah. God damn it! I'm not excited to watch What If season 3. But going back to what I want to say, that's kind of topical because Spider-Man, is kind of a what if scenario. I think it was meant to. It was meant to be a prequel, like an official prequel, animated prequel to Tom Holland's Spider-Man, where we would have seen him before the events of Civil War, and then it got like evolved into it evolved into a what if series, kind where it was what if Norman Osborn found Spider-Man instead of Tony Stark, and this is much more aligned with what the MCU would have been or could have been if Spider-Man, like the entire Spider-Man mythos were added into the MCU. And I feel like that should have been a given from the start, but whatever, right? We got some of the villains, and whatever. Like this show I think this show definitely gave us a pretty good viewpoint into what Spider-Man could have looked like in the MCU, like if everything was added. And I feel like this does do like this has a very good interpretation of that. But it's our first MCU show in fucking a month. It was a month after What If. I have not watched What If, and yes, I know. And what I said earlier, I did skip What If to do this because I don't care anymore. I'll eventually watch What If, review What If. Not excited for it, but I gotta do it. It's the only MCU property I have not watched. Yeah. Currently, I am back on that. I know. I know. I knew. Like I think before. I think maybe in 2020 or something like that. 2021, something like that. I rewatched all of the MCU up until that point. I think it was 2020 because I'm pretty sure WandaVision hadn't come out by then. And like pretty sure it was 2020. I think it was like it wasn't the free trial, but it definitely like had some plan or something. Yeah. And I watched the entirety of the MCU phases 1 through 3 to completion. That was, I think the first. My point is that to get the story to what I wanted to say. The only time this happened to me is with Thor: The Dark World. I didn't watch Thor: The Dark World until 2019 after Endgame. I know by Endgame, I hadn't watched Thor: The Dark World. Never did, and that was the only time this happened. I know I watched every other MCU movie except Thor: The Dark World. I wasn't sure on some. Like I will definitely say I wasn't sure on some. I wasn't sure if I watched. I knew I watched The Incredible Hulk. We had the DVD for that, but I wasn't sure if I had watched Thor or the first Avenger. Those are the only ones I was like unsure of. But the rest I was like 100% sure. I believe like yeah no I believe like at that point in 2020 I did like watch them all, and that's why we made the MCU list and why I had watched them all. But yeah, it was it was definitely a ride to watch all of that. And yeah, no, that was like the only time I 100% could have said I had not watched an MCU property like to its completion. Like I've watched every show on time. I think I by its finale I had already like reached like it's like by its finale I already watched it. Like I already like but when its finale releases, when like a show releases and its finale's there, like I'm already at the finale by the time it releases. That didn't happen with What If. I was so like goddamn tired of What If. I also like there's a lot of stuff in December I didn't watch, but whatever. Yeah, I skipped it. We're going straight to Spider-Man. I don't care. Sue me. No, nobody's gonna fucking sue me. Nobody watch What If. I'm gonna be like What If's first like watcher. It's like first viewer and like legitimately probably a month, like 3 months. I don't think anyone's touched that series in that amount of time. In that amount of time, in like this time span or four, whatever. Fucking this show. Okay, I don't have a lot written down, but I want to talk about it for a bit. I realized I thought I had more written down. I do not. I do not have more written down for this show. Yikes! And it's 9 episodes, so it's one of the longer MCU shows. Definitely, it's one of the longer MCU shows. I I'm iffy on the longer ones. There's only been a few. What If is always a consistently long one. It's I think season 3 had only 8 episodes or something like that. Like it was the shortest season, and I think the only thing ever to have 8 episodes. X-Men 97 has 10. I don't know why. I don't know why. They don't just go to 10. I feel like a lot of times with their 9th episodes, they gotta cram a lot of stuff, except for Agatha All Along, which I think really needed that 8 episodes. I think episodes 8 and 9 should have been one episode, but I guess it was kind of rectified by the fact that they released simultaneously. So I would have been a lot. I think if Agatha All Along released weekly, like fully weekly, like episodes 8 and 9 weekly, I think I would have been furious. I would have been, what the fuck is this? I would have been mad. But yeah. So this one talking about releases, this one fucking released really weirdly. It's almost like I think like 3 episodes, then 2, then 3. Like it released really like what that doesn't equate. It doesn't equate to 9. What the fuck? Was this 9 or was this 10? I don't know. How much was this? There we go. This one was 9, right? 10. This was 10. Okay. Yeah, I released 2 at the start, then 3, then 3 again, then 2. What was this? What was this release date? Like, genuinely speaking. People think that this was because people think this was because they didn't want to have like be running like at the same time as Daredevil, but it wouldn't have even overlapped that much, to be frank. Like it would not have overlapped for a long period of time if Daredevil released normally as well. But no, Daredevil releases kind of also released kind of weirdly. I mean, less weird than this, but whatever. And also something I want to mention before we start. Just some fun facts about the series overall. This series was originally called Spider-Man Freshman Year, and that was like I think before the not before the massive overhaul, but definitely it definitely went through a change, and that was I guess before Marvel decided to do more seasons, like decided to officially say like, yeah, we're doing more seasons of shows. So it was announced as freshman year, and then the second season was called sophomore year. But then they retitled it to Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, and I think that was a better choice, just not to confuse people, and to, you know, so we could have uh we could have a lot more things, like a lot more seasons of this show. But yeah, and also just talking, I guess season 2 is releasing in 2026, or it's expected to premiere in 2026. 2026 seems to be a pretty big year overall. Uh, Theoretically, Wonder Man is releasing like it's like last few episodes in 2026. If it's not like a full on just kind of if it's not just 6 episodes released at once or something like that, like what they do with Echo. Fuck that, honestly. Um, then there's Vision Quest. The big one, Avengers Doomsday. There's season 2. There's season 2 of Daredevil Born Again. Then I'm pretty sure that's it. And then and no and the and the Punisher special. Right, the Punisher special. We haven't done a fucking special in so long. They did that. They had the thing and then just didn't do anything with it. I don't know why. They had like such presentations. I'm pretty sure nobody fucking watched them, and then just didn't do anything with them. I don't understand why. It's so weird. Sorry about that. Fucking dogs, man. Okay. They interrupt a lot, so I'm just gonna get into the fill season. I don't even remember what I was fucking talking about. just yeah. Yeah, 2026, it's packed. But yeah, season 1 came out. Let's talk about it. Let's start off with what we gotta start off with, which is the animation and action. This is where I dock points off this series. The series, the writing, pretty good. There's some things I do want to mention that I feel like iffy on the writing, but besides the point. The animation and action. This series looks like dog ass. Okay. Okay. This series suffers from the same problems that Ruby does, and that is saying something. When like your modern animation is on par with Ruby, you have done something wrong. Now, I may not have touched upon this in the Ruby reviews, but Ruby, the entire show, pretty much suffers from the big problem of not having shading. Its shading is really dull, or it's really like it's just like normal shading and stuff like that. Like it doesn't make the show look better. It's just dull. Like the show itself looks like fucking plastic. Like they tried to go with like anime aesthetic, and I get it. Other shows have done 3D animation well with anime aesthetics. It's fine. It's just not shaded. It's just not like it doesn't have shading. And like it's like so desaturated. It's insane. Especially like seasons like especially like the Maya age, that is so desaturated. Like what the hell? But this show suffers from the same problems. Where this show does not have good shading, and I feel like it's even more egregious in this. This show has no shading, period. The shading is on the characters. Pretty much. So, it looks even worse, and I feel like the worst thing this show has is that it is oversaturated. It's bright as hell. This show is bright. So, everything looks like it's like everything is like popping out and it looks so off. It just looks so tremendously off. The entire show. Again, the shading is awesome. All on the characters. It's not like there's nothing in there that doesn't look that's like there's nothing there that actually looks like normal shading. It's like on it's on the model, and it looks really really off. There's no like natural shading anywhere. Everything's so bright. It looks so off. I know what they were going for. They were going for a. They were going for like like a 60s. I guess Jack Kirby's aesthetic. That's what they were going for with this show. I get their vision. I get their vision. However, it doesn't look good. It doesn't look good. I don't know what to tell you. It just doesn't. Everyone looks weird. I don't like. I think the facial structures of many characters look really weird. The animation is not good in the show, and the animation, like when they're moving, also looks really really stiff. It reminds me of the Polygon of the Godzilla Polygon trilogy, which you do not want me to remind me. You don't want me to get reminded of. You don't want that. Like even Ruby had like towards like volume 9 had like fluid animation. It wasn't all like completely and utterly stiff. It was just it had flow. This one, the animation is like stiff. I don't know. I don't like the animation in this show. It looks so bad. And I know this team can do better. Isn't this the same team? Let me check. Hold on now. Who animated this show? I know Studio Mir did X-Men 97. Not sure who did this. It might be in-house. And if it is in-house, that means that it is the same as What If. Come on. This is insane. Oh, that makes sense. I just looked at who animated this show. Jesus Christ. Okay. I see. Wow. Wow. Okay. I was like, oh, this reminds me a lot of the anime Polygon trilogy. It's animated by Polygon. It's by Polygon. No way. There's no way. But Polygon has gotten worse over time. They did Transformers Prime. And they did Clone Wars. Like those look good. But god damn, they've been getting worse and worse and worse, like, consistently. It's insane. But yeah, I was like, oh yeah, this reminds me a lot of this. It's by the same fucking people. Okay, who's this? CGCG. CGCG. Okay. This is a subsidiary of Wong Films Productions. What did these guys make? Hold on, let's see. That checks out. Temp Cretaceous, Spy Racers, Rebels, Clone Wars. They helped on Clone Wars. Chaos Theory. These shows look good. What is it might have been Polygon. Might have been Polygon. Like genuinely. They hired like the worst people. They hired the absolute worst people you could have hired in modern animation. It's wow. I can't believe it. It's actually Polygon. That's insane. That's insane. Okay. So now I know why the animation does not look good. It's legitimately by Polygon. And also, what if is made a ton of people? Blue Spirit, Flying Bark, Squeeze, Start, Creative Labs, which is also making the Marvel Zombies. Like, I'm not saying like, what if has the best animation, but it definitely has better than this. That's been 97. It is 2D, and Studio Mir has all done a lot of cool stuff. These guys did the short film for Star Wars Visions, Journey to the Dark Head. Like that was pretty good looking. I think the best one out of Volume 2. Like there's a lot of good, there's a lot of great animation in Volume 2. But like definitely one of the better ones. Like the only like anime one that actually like looks anime. But yeah, they've made quite a bit. They've made quite a bit. That actually looks good. They're making the like 30 Mirrors also making the next Devil May Cry. I get the upcoming this week is coming out. Devil May Cry. So we'll be seeing more of them pretty soon. Yeah, insane. And of course the action, thanks to this horrendous animation, suffers so much. And I feel like the action in this show is just kind of basic. It's like it's very basic. There's nothing that I would consider novel about like any of this. Like I think I like that the Spider-Man villains in this show were handled like they were handled in a way like the choices they made in this show make sense. I feel like it makes it unique. Like we're not gonna see a lot of these villains in the MCU proper, so they're putting them in the show. Like, so it makes for unique action sequences against these characters that we are probably never seeing in the MCU. However, however, it's kind of bland. The action with a lot of these villains is kind of bland, and really, it's mostly almost never fights, and a lot of the time, and like most of the times, it reminds me a lot of Ruby fights, especially Volume 5 and stuff. It just kind of stiff, not really interesting. I don't like the action in the show at all. I was never like, oh, cool, like this is happening. They're doing a lot of cool moves. Nope, that is not happening in this show. It's never action. It's entertaining enough, but it's not gonna wow you. It really isn't. And yeah, they could have done more. I always feel, but they never do. They never did in this show. I hope it gets better because I hope they fucking fire Polygon. Um, I hope it gets better, but Yikes! The action and the animation are not the best starting point for this show. So let's get into what I think is the best part of the show, and that is the characters. So obviously, there's not a lot. There's only five I really want to talk about because these are the five that are the main cast. So let's go over Spider Man first. It's like okay. I'm not I'm not gonna dog points of Spider Man for being just our typical Spider Man. Like that is that is a core of his character. I understand what they were going for here, having like an official like pretty good look at like at what Spider Man like a pretty accurate depiction of Spider Man. I understand what they were going for. However, it I feel this is like the best interpretation of Spider Man like that we've gotten in a very good while. However, I feel like it's also a thing we've seen a million times. And they go in the most Spider-Man way possible. I don't know. It's so Spider-Man. It's kind of bland. There really is like no meat to these bones. That's like I think the best way I can describe it. It's the most Spider-Man I've ever gotten, and I feel like that detracts from it because everything else in this show is pretty unique to itself. Like it's pretty. It's actually like pretty unique. However, it's Spider-Man that remains the exact same, and yeah, it just feels kind of bland in comparison to everything else that's in the show. I feel like he's a fine Spider-Man. Like he's fine. He does like he has his characteristics. He is fairly accurate. He's much more accurate than he was in the MCU proper. However, uh, that's it. Like it's just the most accurate Spider-Man I've ever gotten, and a lot of the show is like a different take on the Spider-Man mythos. I think that's what's special about the show. Like the show is a different take on the Spider-Man mythos and how everything else meets and all that. That I feel like Spider-Man being so accurate is a detractor. He is like much more of a dork than he was in the MCU. Like he's overtly trusting of Norman Osborn. I get that. People treat him as like a genius. Fine. Nah, I don't know. Again, like this Spider Man is Spider Man. Like I shouldn't be complaining, but and he's like I think he's a good Spider Man. I feel like he works a lot. I feel like the character arc that we got here, with him like having an identity crisis, and him going through the suits and all that, and like the beetle. It's not the beetle suit, right? I'm not sure. I forgot what it was called, but like the winged suit, the they didn't do big time. I'm pretty sure, but like the black suit in quotations, the one with the cape, like him going through all these and finally settling on Spider Man, like what he wanted to do. I think that works. I think that works. That's something that they explored here that's new with the character, and I gotta give them props for that. But it's like the only thing I can really say is the fact that he earns the suit, the Spider Man suit, instead of it being given to him by Tony. And I feel like this one makes a lot more sense. I feel like I like this origin better, and I feel like what they did with the Spider-Man origin works much better here. But that's really it. That's really it. That's how I get, like, the only thing like different about Spider-Man is the fact that he works with Norman Osborn, or well, he worked with. So yeah, I don't know. I feel like Peter is just kind of like normal Peter when everything else around him has changed so drastically by the writers. And let's get into that change, because I want to illustrate that everything around Peter has changed, except they made Peter really really accurate, and I feel like it's off. It's off. Maybe it's a plus for some people. For me, it's not a huge negative because I feel like even for this character it works, but it's just kind of something that's off about the show itself. But let's move to a character that was changed drastically from his comic book counterpart, Tombstone, or Lonnie Lincoln. So this character it was a surprise to get this character like in the spotlight that he got, like how much spotlight he got. Tombstone is never a character that people that like writers gravitate to usually in Spider-Man stories. Like, I think his most popular appearances currently in media are Into the Spider Verse and the Spider-Man games, where in Spider Verse he's just like a normal villain, goon style. That word is fucking lost meaning, but he's like he's just the yeah he's just a goon like of for Kingpin pretty much. And then there's the games where in the games he's an optional boss, and in the second game he's reformed and he helps Spider-Man for a bit, but he's never like the big focus of a narrative of like like a subplot pretty much. And here he is, and they changed it very drastically. He is part of Peter's class. He is like again part of school. So I like this. I like the fact that they gave all these characters different origins, but kind of lead them to the same place that they had and see how that impacts them. I like that a lot. And especially how Tombstone evolved throughout the entire series. Him getting powers was a bit sudden, but I don't mind. It was gonna happen eventually. But yeah, I liked it and how like we see him trying to do good for his family and how it kind of leads him to try to get respect within the I forgot what they're called. That's not history. That's cyberpunk. What are these called? There we go. 110th Street Gang. Here we go. Which like, he just to protect his family, but then he becomes the leader of this, and he like likes it at the end. Like, you know, I like what they did with Tombstone, how they developed this character. It's definitely an origin that we don't see a lot. I'm pretty sure it's a new origin for the character. It definitely put a spotlight on him, so I really like what they did with Tombstone. Let's see here. Uh. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. It's a completely and utterly new origin story for Tombstone, and I like it. I don't mind it. And we see how like all these like all of his relationships are ruined by this decision. I don't mind it at all. I really don't. I think it works really well for his character, and want to go with Tombstone as a whole. So yeah, Next up is Nico Minoru, which is a character not in the Spider-Man mythos. She is one of the the Runaways. She's part of the Runaways. We see her at the end getting into that sort of character arc, but I've not watched the Runaway show. I can't tell you what to think. Can't tell you what it is. She's not part. She's not voiced by the same actress as the one from the Runaway show. So yeah, but it's always there. Okay. Okay. What? Okay. Cool. But it's just looking through some Runaways things. But yeah, not the same character, different origin story here and there. There's a lot of stuff here. I think then changing Nico to be Peter's best friend, I feel like it was a welcome change. I like the change that Peter's best friend, Ned Leeds isn't here. That season 4 Hobgoblin eventually, which okay. But I like the fact that Nico is a lot more emotional and I guess not I guess hard on Peter in some ways. I like that and how like the arc we have with her not getting over the fact not like hating Peter for not telling her that he's Spider-Man. That's cool. I actually I like that and that's something we couldn't have with Ned Leeds, so I like the fact I like what they did with Nico. Really. I think a welcome change here. I'm not sure what they want to do with this. If this character was the best to put in this, since she's not involved in the Spider-Man mythos at all, and that was the thing that people complained about. But I don't mind that we have a lot of characters like in here, from throughout the MC, like the Marvel comics and stuff. I don't mind that. I don't mind that. But you know, it's a different take. I don't mind it that much. It's just not part of the Spider mythos, but I feel like what they did with the character was interesting enough, and we're probably gonna see more of her and how she becomes kind of her comic book counterpart in the other in the rest of the seasons, and we might see the other Runaways. Who knows? But yeah, next up is Harry Osborn. I like. I don't. I am Harry being Peter's friend. That's always gonna be a thing. I like how they meet here through like the internship. He becomes they sort of split Ned Leeds into two characters, into Nico more on like the best friend side and Harry Osborn more on the guy in the chair side, and I like that. And Harry being like I guess like being pretty honest with him being born into all of the riches and stuff makes sense. He'd be pretty honest about that. I don't mind. And how his friendship with Peter evolves, and how like Nico also like becomes friends with Harry over time. That's part of that arc. I like that. But yeah, I like what they did with Harry here. I think it was. I think it was good. I won't say a complete different take, but it is definitely they did something new with the character that we hadn't seen before with Harry. So kudos to that. It's again what I mean with like Spider Man. Like he's just Spider Man. He's not like there's nothing new with Spider Man. He's just like normal Spider Man, but like in contrast to everyone else and how they handled everyone else. It's a stark contrast, and and you see it definitely. Yeah, I like what they did. I like what they did of Harry in the show a lot. And a final character I want to talk about is Norman Osborn. Uh, so Norman is sort of an antagonistic force towards the end, and he definitely has his own motives. And I feel like it could be interesting what they do with Norman. I like the fact that Norman kind of wants to have Spider-Man on his side and be this sort of like, I guess, protective, I don't know what I said, protective shielding for PR and stuff. So yeah, I like that. I like if Norman isn't entirely trusting. You can't trust Norman, especially since you know he is gonna become the Green Goblin at some point. So I like the fact that we have that there's this air of this air of doubt around this character, something that we couldn't have with Tony Stark. So seeing that here with Norman Osborn, I think it works really well. I think they can do a lot of interesting things with Norman. Definitely at the end of him like not telling a lot of like what they want to do, and what the interesting was actually about, and what they wanted to do with the technology that they were developing, that the interns were developing, and all that. Like I like that. I really did, and also like I forgot to mention about Harry, like him going to help other people, like other like young people, and in this like internship and stuff, like having his like own little business. That's cool. But yeah, like they I feel like starting off like Norman not being entirely like, trustable, and us having doubting that for a good and for good base like what he's gonna do, but we kind of know what he's gonna do. So yeah, like it's only a matter of it's not a matter of if it's of when. So yeah, we'll see if they do anything interesting with Norman season 2, probably, but I don't know. So let's move on to the plot. So this show uses a lot of villains for its narrative, and it's like a main mystery, which is who is giving all these villains the weapons. It's Otto Octavius. It's Otto Octavius. Like come on. However, I feel like the villain's worth is kind of diminished by the fact that they're all products of of Otto Octavius. They included they included the thing where Otto was a member of Oscorp. He's not like in the games. I feel like the games do their like I think the games have definitely the best interpretation, the best adaptation of Otto Octavius of Doctor Octopus. This tried to go in that direction, but I don't know if but whatever. Like it did its job. Otto's not a big part of the show. I mean, he is, but like he's not like in it for a long time. Yeah, I feel like the villain's worth is kind of diminished because they are all products of Doctor Octopus's like technology. I don't know. I don't particularly like that change. But it does act for a sort of good mystery if you can't see like 6 episodes in the future. Which I mean, who else was it gonna be? And it's always like a villain each week, and I like how some of the villains do come back, and they sort of look like themselves and all that. Like I like what they did with the villains here. I feel like they add to the plot, and definitely the like definitely gave into the whole mystery, and like the maybe the doubtfulness we have of Norman and what he was truly developing. So yeah, I like that, and especially since I think Otto stole some blueprints from Oscorp and made them, and like officially produced them. So yeah, I like that aspect of mystery and an air of that we have about Oscorp and Osborn. But yeah, then there's then there I talking about villains. Then there's the symbiote. I guess that's what it is. The symbiote that I guess in the beginning, it's at the end. I I forget. I'll talk about it here. I don't like this. I don't mind the symbiote appearing. I don't like the design, but I might have to change this. I might have to I might have to change this rating. I changed the rating. I'll talk about it when I get to it. I don't like Spider-Man's origins. Do not. Like, I don't at all. So, the entire thing about it is that Doctor Strange was in the show, like tells Osborn not to go through with the uh with the dimension, the time, like the warp device thing, the portal thing. They're not to activate the portal, pretty much. And that's when we get, and then Osborn opens the portal. We get the symbiote, and Doctor Strange accidentally sent it through time, which is when like the spider comes in from some test. Like I don't know where the spider. I forgot what where the spider comes in, but it goes through the portal, and it bites Peter. I don't like this origin story. I don't. Spider-Man should be that anybody could have gotten bit by the spider. That's what Spider-Man's origin is. Here, it's not that case. It was always planned to be Peter. I do not like this origin story. I don't at all. I am docking points because of it. I do not like this origin story at all. It sucks. It really does suck. I'm knocking points out of this show because of that. I do not like this origin story at all. But yeah, that's that's we gotta say that. And now I'm talking about that. I'm talking about some plot threads I don't particularly think are done well. Daredevil here is like done for nothing. It's mostly season 2 setup. I also some of the villains like there are some characters here and there that are taken from like our villain alter egos. Like they're like actual names, but they don't turn into the villains. We'll probably see that around season 2. But yeah, there's like the Daredevil plot doesn't really make any sense. It doesn't lead into anything. I feel like it's there for like no reason. It's just there to have Daredevil there. That's really the only one. I wish we could have gotten more of Doctor Octopus. The Sokovia Accords thing is not like it's not it's explained to be a problem, but it is never like it's never a problem in the show. It just never is. So I don't like that. Like they establish problems here and there that aren't problems, and I'm like, oh, we'll take care of that. Like at that point, don't introduce the problem. Like, come on. So yeah, I don't, I don't like it. I really don't. There's some things here with the plot a bit messy. But overall, like the main plot itself, I think it's fine. But they just have to have a lot of plot threads in this show that I don't know. I felt like it didn't work. So yeah, that's the plot. Let's talk about the future of the show for a bit. Um, Season 2's coming out. Probably gonna be 10 episodes again. That's next year. Like I said, next year. They did. They did show a bit of of a of a tease, I guess, where they showed off Spider Gwen. I'm so tired of the Spider Verse. Like I keep it to the movies. Spider Gwen shouldn't be in everything. I feel like it's fine to introduce Spider Gwen at some point. It's just not in season 2. Please do not like season 2. Spider Gwen already? Come on, no. Like I feel like Spider Gwen should have been a season like at least, not at least. At the earliest, I would have taken Spider Gwen is season 4. That's like the earliest, and that's not the best option either. Like that's like the earliest I would have taken Spider Gwen is season 4, not season 2. I know it's already kind of it's playing around the multiverse of all that stuff, and like, I guess they gotta get back to the symbiote at some point. But I don't like. I know. Please do not do Spider. Come on. I would have said Spider Gwen for a lot later in the show, but that's besides the point. That's really all they said. I don't know what else. Like there's nothing more. I guess we could see Green Goblin come back or Doctor Octopus officially become Doctor Octopus. Maybe, I don't know. But yeah, there's not much to really talk about with the future here. To wrap it all up, your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man is a pretty good start with some not stellar animation, pretty cool takes on the characters, different takes on the characters, but it suffers a lot from them wanting to do a lot of things and maybe not having the time or not writing it well. So that is why I'm giving it Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man a B tier. Good start. We'll see if it gets better. So yeah, no, that's about it. What did you guys think about the first season of Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man? Jesus Christ. Leave in the comments below. If you like this episode, if you're listening to this on Spotify, follow us on Spotify. If you like this episode, if you liked it, rate us. If you're on YouTube, if you want to see more, subscribe. If you like this episode, hit the like button, and if you think it's worth sharing, share it around. All of our did I say all our socials in the description? All of our socials in the description. For both platforms. On both platforms. And that's about it. See ya.